Meghan finally broke her silence, and what she revealed shocked everyone. One decision, she says, changed everything in her marriage with Harry, and now the damage might be permanent.
A source says that Meghan is focused on the future while Harry has one foot in the past. And People magazine, which I do always have to remind you, has clearly come directly from Meghan herself or one of her representatives, because that's how she works with People magazine.
Which I find very peculiar. Why didn't they do a far more recent photo shoot with her? They've obviously done a more recent interview with her, and to be very honest, it's a puff piece, but that's not a criticism. She obviously is wanting to avoid...
For the past few days, you know, with the slut drop video, with the release of all of the pictures of Lily, to go and rub salt into the wounds by going to People magazine and pointing out that she's not the issue.
Just when everyone thought Meghan Markle had finally faded from the headlines, she pulls off her most strategic move yet. No royal interviews, no Netflix specials, no drama. Just one glossy, pastel-colored People magazine spread that says everything without saying a word. At first glance, it looks like a lifestyle fluff piece. But look closer. The photos are old, the quotes are sharp, and one thing is impossible to ignore. Prince Harry is completely missing. Not in the pictures, not in the story, not even in the subtext. What Meghan just did isn't loud. It's genius. She's repositioning herself without ever addressing the rumors. And somehow, it's louder than any tabloid headline.
Fueling any kind of negativity, and she does attract that. She attracts criticism. She's become a very divisive person, but she's saying all the right things. She's even explaining why she's kept the Sussex name, why keeping that...
Is this a wellness rebrand, or the most elegant breakup announcement in royal history? Because while the world was waiting for another public feud or emotional interview, Meghan chose something far more powerful. Silence, strategy, and a carefully curated photo shoot. And the message? Crystal clear. She's done playing the royal wife. She's not moving on privately. She's moving on publicly. And the most brutal part? Harry might be the last one to realize it. Meghan Markle's feature in People magazine didn't need fireworks to make an impact. It was soft, polished, drenched in pastel colors and wellness vibes.
To both of them, because it is now their part of their family history, and she didn't realize how meaningful that would be until we had children.
But beneath the surface, this wasn't just a casual update. It was a masterclass in narrative control. Every detail felt intentional. The images weren't new. They were nearly a year old, and yet they were presented like a fresh glimpse into her current life, carefully styled, subtly powerful, and completely devoid of one key element: Harry. Not a single photo of him.
Okay, here's the report. Meghan Markle is very business about royal rift, as Prince Harry is left out of the details in England. A source says that Meghan is focused on the future while Harry has one foot in the past.
No anecdotes. No quotes about their life together. Just Meghan, alone, composed, and clearly in control of her own story. It felt less like a magazine feature and more like a quiet announcement. The Sussex duo may be fading, and Meghan's solo era is starting. This wasn't a cry for attention. It was a signal, a soft launch, a rebrand disguised as reflection. And the world noticed, because while she speaks of journaling, peace, and purpose, the absence of Harry says more than any headline could. Meghan didn't need to explain anything. She simply let the silence do the talking.
Look, I don't think there's too much in there to upset people, put it that way, and she's obviously wanted to create some excitement about the show, which, as I say, drops tomorrow. Now, we have a brand new trailer. Now, you know what it's like churning out a few hours of TV a day.
In celebrity media, what's left out often speaks louder than what's included. And in Meghan's People magazine spread, Prince Harry wasn't just absent, he was erased. For a couple once branded as inseparable, this silence wasn't oversight. It was messaging, subtle, surgical, and meant to provoke just enough speculation without confirming anything. The world didn't need a breakup announcement, they just needed to notice who wasn't in the frame. Gone were the shared glances, the inside jokes, the power couple narrative. What remained was Meghan, framed as an independent visionary with a future to build. And by excluding Harry, the story made one thing painfully clear. She's no longer waiting for him to catch up. She's already moving. And it's not just emotional distance. It's brand separation. A solo narrative being rolled out with meticulous care, the kind that doesn't cause scandal but suggests transformation. It wasn't defensive. It wasn't hostile. It was curated absence, designed to reset the public's perception, one soft filtered page at a time.
Trust. Okay, so we're going to go into this in much more detail, but Angela Levin, can I just kick off by saying, this is not normal. The only other couple that I have ever known to brief against each other.
If Harry was ever part of the story, this version gently edits him out. Tucked inside Meghan's serene, self-care-filled interview was a single line that changed everything. It didn't scream, it didn't accuse, it whispered. But with surgical precision, Meghan wishes her husband could feel less burdened by the past and more present in the life they've built together. At first glance, it reads like compassion. But when you sit with it, it cuts like glass. It wasn't just a quote. It was a quiet mic drop, a statement layered in meaning, wrapped in calm delivery, and aimed directly at the emotional rift between them. Meghan paints herself as grounded, evolved, and focused on the present. Harry? Haunted by the past, unable to move forward, still carrying the weight of royal trauma. The contrast is stark and deliberate. This wasn't a plea for empathy, it was a repositioning. Meghan casting herself as the future, while gently suggesting Harry is stuck in a loop he can't break.
They remain married. Remember, that's the difference. This happens with warring couples, with divorcing couples all the time. But while they remained married was Victoria and David Beckham.
And the brilliance of it? She never had to criticize him directly. The public is left to fill in the blanks. And that's exactly what makes it so powerful. She's healing. He's spiraling. And the emotional distance? It's not speculation anymore. It's in print. If Meghan's words hinted at emotional distance, the imagery confirmed it. Harry, once the center of every shared cause, every joint appearance, is now just gone. Not scandalously, not angrily, but almost politely removed from the frame. And that quiet removal, it speaks volumes. This wasn't a messy breakup headline. It was a visual, soft delete. One that royal watchers, PR insiders, and fans all picked up on immediately. This wasn't the Meghan and Harry brand, it was Meghan, period. Framed in solitude, styled with intention, and completely unburdened by the presence of her husband. It felt like a visual cue in a movie, the kind that foreshadows a character's final scene before they disappear from the story altogether. And it wasn't a one-off. Recent appearances, public moves, and even online content have slowly shifted from we to me.
We're going to stay together and put their issues behind them. It was just impossible to have two different camps within one marriage briefing publications. But that's exactly what Meghan Markle has done here. It is a disgusting new low, briefing against her husband to People magazine.
Harry isn't being blasted, he's being benched. And in celebrity media, that's far more permanent. Because this kind of erasure doesn't cause a stir. It causes distance, the kind of distance that eventually becomes the new normal. And while Meghan ascends with purpose, Harry seems to be watching from the sidelines in real time. This isn't Meghan Markle 2.0, it's Meghan Inc., a total rebrand, executed with the precision of a corporate launch. Gone are the teary interviews and emotional appeals. In their place, calm, curated elegance, herbal tea, neutral tones, and language straight from a wellness startup. She's not the ex-royal under siege anymore. She's the poised founder of her next empire. Every move signals elevation, from lifestyle content and philanthropic ventures to brand partnerships and political whispers. Meghan isn't reacting, she's building.
Atrocious. Of course I think it's right that the royal family are leaving him out of all of the discussions. He has no right to know about his father's health. I'm sorry, you've blown that, mate. But for Meghan to try and say, oh, he's just stuck in the past, my husband is the one stuck in the past and I've done nothing wrong, is the height of narcissistic delusion.
And the most brilliant part, she's doing it without saying a word about leaving anything. No mention of breaking from Harry, no emotional reveals. Just a visual and verbal campaign of quiet independence. It's subtle, it's clean, it's calculated, and it's working. She's become a one-woman brand, shedding the royal drama while keeping the spotlight. And in that new spotlight, there's no room or need for Harry. This isn't revenge, it's reinvention. And as the world watches, Meghan isn't looking back. She's not asking for approval. She's already arrived at the next chapter, and she's writing it alone. While Meghan glides into her rebrand with calm control, Harry's public image is fraying. The man who once broke royal tradition for love now seems lost in the aftermath. His memoir, Spare, didn't just tell all, it scorched the earth. And now, he's feeling the chill. Excluded from royal events, filtered news about his father's health, and an eerie silence from the palace.
All the time, that you should be the person that hears his father say, "I'm so sorry, let's get together." I don't believe that in 1 minute.
It's not just distance anymore, it's exile. But the tragedy isn't just institutional, it's personal. Harry appears stunned, still hoping for a response, a sign, a reconciliation that may never come. As if he expected vulnerability to heal wounds, not deepen them. His heart might have been in the right place, but his timing? Disastrous. Because in the monarchy, silence is strategy. And Harry shattered that code. Now, he's stuck. Not quite royal, not quite rebel. No clear identity. And next to Meghan's serene momentum, his public image looks increasingly turbulent. She's walking into partnerships and purpose. He's walking circles around the same ghosts. And the world sees it, not as drama, but as divergence. Two people once aligned, now drifting in opposite emotional climates. No press conference, no scandal, no dramatic social media unfollowing. Just quiet, deliberate action. Meghan isn't announcing a split, she's embodying one. The People magazine feature wasn't just PR fluff. It was a blueprint, one that showed the world she's moving forward, without needing to explain why Harry's not coming with her. She's laying the groundwork for a future that doesn't revolve around royal ties or shared trauma. Think wellness initiatives, docuseries deals, philanthropic launches. It's all polished, it's all intentional, and it's all solo. There's no conflict to cover, no argument to publicize.
I don't believe that it should be that way
Well,
round.
indeed. And not to mention the fact that he revealed the details of just how bad his father's cancer was in that BBC interview. But look, let's get on, Angela, and we can analyze as we go to this specific reporting from People.
Meghan is making the pivot so cleanly, so gracefully, that it barely feels like a shift, until you realize Harry's nowhere in the frame. This isn't a couple growing apart. It's one person accelerating into their next act, while the other stands still. And the brilliance of it? Meghan never says a word about divorce or separation. She just acts as if the next chapter's already begun. And in doing so, she redefines the power of public silence. Because sometimes, not saying it out loud makes it land even harder. They still share a roof. They still share a brand. But emotionally, Meghan and Harry are now worlds apart. One is scaling a new identity, built on wellness, intention, and forward momentum. The other is pacing through old interviews, revisiting royal wounds, and searching for closure that may never come. And what makes it brutal isn't a public argument, it's the contrast. Meghan speaks in curated tones about joy, purpose, and self-actualization. Harry, by comparison, seems like a man frozen in time, reliving the betrayal, holding on to the version of events the world has already moved past. He's not just being outpaced, he's being phased out, quietly, strategic, and without resistance. Because Meghan doesn't need confrontation, she doesn't need to fight for space in the spotlight. She's already redefined it. While Harry's still tied to a crown he walked away from, Meghan's crafting an empire of her own, one that doesn't rely on tradition, titles, or even him. This isn't cruelty, it's calculated clarity. And with each move she makes, Harry fades a little further into the background of a story that used to belong to both of them. This isn't a breakup built on headlines or heated arguments. It's something far more devastating, a slow, quiet fade happening right in front of us. Meghan doesn't need to say the word goodbye. She's letting the silence speak, letting curated calm and career moves do the talking. Podcasts, wellness ventures, public appearances, all carefully shaped to present one message: she's evolved. And if Harry can't keep up, that's no longer her concern. Meanwhile, Harry remains stuck between worlds. The monarchy he rebelled against won't welcome him back, and the new world he followed Meghan into is slipping away. His pain is visible, but it's also irrelevant to her brand, to her next act, to her future. Because this isn't just a rebrand, It's a soft exit, one where Meghan gets to move on gracefully, with plausible deniability and public support, while Harry becomes a background character in a story that's no longer about him. He's not the villain. He's not even the lead anymore. He's a chapter she's already closed, gently, strategically, and completely. And when the final page turns, Meghan will still be standing, pen in hand, ready to write whatever comes next.